Howdy. Um, so this video is going to be significantly different than anything else I've really done, I think, because I'm going to ask for your help. Yes, sometimes I get help from viewers, either within a game, I'm complaining about, hey, I don't understand why this is there, or I don't see how to do this, and get responses from that, rules clarification. Sometimes I get help in terms of moral and other support for my life's problems, but in this case, the help I need is actually just an opinion. As I've learned more about how YouTube kind of operates, and I kind of knew this all along, but not to the same degree. What's come to my understanding more and more deeply is that if you monetize videos, YouTube promotes them better. Okay, and it makes sense, right? I mean, essentially, they're making nothing off my videos, and worse than that, they're spending huge amounts of server resources and whatever. And it's fantastic that I can put things up without ads. And so the main source of the videos that I put out in terms of getting people to watch them is they've either just watched my videos recently, in which case they do get boosted a little bit, by the algorithm, so that stuff that's similar in name or whatever might get recommended. But it can be very hard. Among other things, it does still depress that. So it's possible that like a video in a series or something might not end up getting the boost onto your list, even if you're watching the previous of the series and have been watching the series throughout. I don't think that's that big a deal. But the main source of where to find my videos right now is essentially through BGG, unless you're subscribed to it. And a fair number of people are subscribed, perhaps as a means of getting around, whatever hindrances there are. Earlier, when I was doing videos, not when I first started, but soon after, when I started realizing, wow, people are actually watching my shit, what the hell? I made an effort to try to promote them on other platforms and whatnot, other than just BGG. I would post things over on WebGrogNerds, which is a fantastic site. And over at Concept World, John was actually promoting them for a while because there just weren't that many people doing wargaming videos. Now there are plenty more, and there are better, more popular types of styles and whatnot. And that's really where this comes down is, I don't want to. I certainly don't want to offend or lose what little I have in terms of viewers and whatnot, because of this kind of decision. One of the guiding principles I've always had was, well, I don't like fucking ads in videos, and I assume most people don't. On the other hand, I never see any because I have an ad blocker, which is, I maybe quite often I kind of project what I do onto everybody else. So I'm like, well, obviously everybody does. Well, if that was the case, YouTube wouldn't work. So I'm guessing a fair percentage of people don't have them. And that's one thing I really want to view on from you guys is, uh, would the ads be something that would kind of turn you off the channel as a whole, or make you less even a little less likely to watch? Um, Now, obviously my financial situation isn't as good as it was when I was working, but it's also not bad. At least in theory, there's nothing terrible. I should have enough to live the rest of my life out, as long as I don't, end up, I don't know. But, I'm not concerned about that. It's hard to tell whether or not I'm going to get a job again. Chances seem to be on the negative side right now, with us going into a recession and whatnot. And eventually, I'm just going to kind of, get so fucking lazy about it that I stop looking. On the other hand, I guess the key point is, whatever I make from videos isn't going to make a damn bit of difference. At the best, I think we're talking a couple $100 a year. I've spoken, I've engaged in discussions with people who have not much more of a viewership than I do, but more. And that's what they kind of come up with is, well, I can buy a couple extra games a year. And I'm like, well, I certainly am not interested in going against sort of my principles or anything like that for the money. But on the other hand, the idea of monetization being a part of whether or not YouTube serves up videos due to its algorithm, that's a big difference. Now, there's a fair chance that, for various reasons, that many of my videos would end up getting demonetized anyway, just because there's no filter on this thing. I'm gonna curse like mad, and I don't know what causes demonetization, but I sure the hell don't. I'm not going to change who or what I provide in order to worry about that. So everything may end up just not being a worthwhile thing to pursue anyway, for that very fact that, like, nothing's really going to change, except they're going to throw some ads on a few of my videos or something. But yeah, that's the main thing, is I want to understand, how much y'all would be upset by ads being present, and kind of a, hey, there's sort of a, does it matter whether or not I get further reach? I don't know if it does to me, and I can't quite see why it would to y'all, except that, I don't know, if there was some way that sort of a community grew around the videos, and there were comments and people dealt with each other within them, the way that, when I tried to institute my own Gamebox forum, and made the mistake of accepting a generous offer to host, rather than just keeping it on the freeform hosting that I had. Of course, I think that freeform hosting has gone away completely, because I cannot find other websites that I put on the freeform hosting. So I don't know what's up there. Like, stuff has just disappeared completely. Might be able to find it on the Wayback Machine. I wonder. The reason that I wonder is because there was a particular emoticon that I went searching for to show somebody something. Yeah, I don't remember what well, I do remember what. So somebody posted these little, I don't know what they were, little candies or toys or something that were shaped like emoticons, and I was like, yeah, but they don't have the one or two that I'd want. And there are these specific ones. And then somebody, out of the blue, like 2 weeks after I did this search, or less, I don't know. Time is so screwy for me now. Actually came back to me on BGG asking, hey, I know on your site you had this one particular emoticon that we really liked, and I can't find it anywhere. Do you happen to have it? I'm like, no, I just looked actually. But anyway, how do I get down these little pathways? Uh, what what I do really want to know is just, do any of you see any potential disadvantages from your own point of view? Well, are any of you concerned about the disadvantages of random ads? They'll really be random because there's no, it's not like, even though my channel is a gaming channel, the chances of board games being advertised on YouTube are pretty much zero. And the chances of them being board games that any of us would be interested in are probably pretty poor, or even poorer. Uh, Now, because it's a gaming channel for the most part, I would suspect that you'll get, video game ads as sort of the focus on it. But then, all my personal stuff, because it doesn't really fit into anything, I just put under, what is it, like lifestyle and, yeah, I don't know what. I don't know what the category is, but that's how I categorize that stuff. And it's sort of an inside joke to me whenever I see it. So I've kept it throughout. And if anybody sees a potential upside from you as current viewers towards this idea, my own view is kind of like, well, I would like to reach more people. I would like to show more people about gaming, but I don't know how much this is going to infiltrate anything else. And if you're not already kind of a serious gamer, I don't really know if most of the games that I cover and most of my channel really applies to many. But not everybody who's a gamer is on BGG. Like I said, with the war games, man, I did make an attempt before to try to squeeze stuff into other sites, but I just don't have the energy to do that kind of thing. And if this could slip, things into other people's streams and whatever, so that they can take a look, that would be, to me, a benefit. But I'm curious whether or not there's any potential benefit that you guys see as viewers. I don't think so, because I see almost no. So like, there's people who interact and then they interact with me. And there's people who read those interactions and like, if they don't like the way somebody's abusing me or something, they'll step in. If somebody says something like, well, this video is pointless, sometimes they'll step in and say what they see as a value of it. But I feel like that's more directed to me to keep me from, being too, I don't know, disparaging of the whole effort or something, if I'm getting negative feedback. But, that's not really, that's not really the kind of community that hashes back and forth a discussion about something. It's more likely, those kind of discussions are more likely to show up on something like BGG, where there is an actual forum to, there's an actual nice little thread that everybody can kind of join into. It's not handled as. So the part of the problem with YouTube is somebody makes a comment, and then other people respond to it. It's the same thing with Facebook. I would assume Twitter, everything else. All these more modern. It's been a long time to be saying that, but call it second generation or whatever of the social sites seem to have given away from any kind of like hey, let's just have one nice thread where we discuss an issue or whatever. And we can back and forth on it all over the place, to a little bit what might seem like better organization. Here's a response, here's responses to that response under it, and they're hidden if the main response doesn't go. To me, that kind of fragments the community. Like, and this is maybe the argument in favor of like concept world as well. Yeah, it's one game thread. It's all one thing. Well, yeah. I like the segmentation by topic. That level of forum that BGG has had all along. And if you look at the choices of fora that I've started, in particular when I did the game box, it was very much on that. Hey, make a topic as a thread, and then we just discuss that topic. That topic won't be a specific game, except with my game videos. But like if somebody wants to talk about a particular, facet of a game. If it was CSW, it would be like, here's questions on this, and BGG handles this perfectly well. They have, somebody else post a thread of questions. There's answers to those questions. Once it's answered, once it's discussed, if any kind of further feedback is engendered by that, that's great. But then it just kind of closes. It stops. It doesn't get locked or anything. It just stops. It's not that important. And with good search functionality, something BGG's never had, but any commercial forum software seems to have had no problem with. Not even commercial, open source stuff. By searching, you can find those specific questions. So they're all there, and they're all packaged, and they're all nice. And again, that's the opposite of what you see when you're dealing with these social networks, where it's like, on Facebook, if something's 2 days old, it's gone, man. Good luck fucking finding it. At least in my feed, I post so much shit, and most, I subscribe to, have friends with, whatever. I have tons and tons of crap coming through. So if I think of something and want to respond to it a day later, 2 days later, it's almost impossible to do. So that's basically why I don't think any community will grow up around my video channel in particular. Although at the very least, what you're looking at with that is, here's the topic of one game, if we want to go back and discuss that. And every now and then somebody new comes along, watches one of those videos, and feels the need to comment, sometimes with a correction or something. I got no idea what to do if somebody, mentions, you played this wrong back there. Yeah, the video's 10 years old, man. I have trouble remembering if I made a specific, if I'm misunderstanding something a week after the video, a day after the video. Actually, it's worse than that, because usually my videos take like a week to produce. So by the time the video drops, I will not be able to respond to a lot of the stuff in it. Now, when I'm turning a game around a little bit more quickly with lighter stuff and everything, I might get a chance. I might get a chance to correct things and whatever, mid game or something. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. And y'all is the word of the day. It seems I've used it like 3 times. That was the 4th then, but I was referencing it rather than usage. It doesn't fall into my vocabulary all that often. It does. I mean, it's a word I use, but somehow I'm overusing it today. Odd that. I think I'm going to leave this link as gaming channel material because, my personal shit, I really don't care. Like, it's cool that people watch that. I love having that community there, but I'm not particularly interested in people who are just following that. I try to make that available to those people who I think maybe might be interested through my Facebook. And, if you're subscribed to my channel or something, you're getting it anyway, I assume. So, anyway, yippee-ki-yay. Full of weird things today, aren't we?